We used to do leveling all these things by using all our bullock carts. Then bus they used to send. That were the days. No power. In Lanthar, before Lanthar we used to read. I used to travel 8 kilometers for high school, carrying my carrier. So that were the days. Today we are having all these advantages, but how to take to the logical conclusion is important. I entirely agree with you. By using all these things, 2047, how to make India number one, Indians number one globally. It is possible. It is going to happen. Now things are changing after COVID. If you see, working styles have been changed. Virtual working and physical working. Social life, people are going and working, or otherwise, virtual working also, people are doing. Services and goods, how so much of changes if you see e-commerce. If you produce something, you identify your consumer, delivery will be on e-commerce channels, on their own or on your identification. So these are all the things are going to happen in future. So we have to encourage it, but there are some debates, pros and cons, what is going to happen, human intelligence. Ultimately, even GPT, artificial intelligence, everything has to be executed by human being again. That is where Indians are having upper hand. That we have to use it.
Thank you. Before coming to audience questions, since the chat GPT subject has come up, I also want to have the technologist's perception. So there are two things. One is, Sridhar, you should tell us what are the ethical issues involved with chat GPT. My second question to any of the panelists is, how chat GPT can be used by common man? Because I think this is the quickest adoption that we are seeing, either governance or how can it be used by industry quickly?
So the ethics part is like always subjective because the law of the land defines ethics at times, but I feel like we have to take it a level above and think from humanity's perspective, where there are certain set of well-being pillars for ethics which are defined. We have to ensure new frameworks have to be defined as part of the policy, where the 5 pillars of ethics are taken care of, and it is actually correlated to the technology use. Example like as simple as you're writing an exam today, and that exam questions, if I put into chat GPT and I generate all the answers, while the government is trying to help online education, and if I use a tool like chat GPT and fill those answers and pass my exam and get my degrees, that is unethical. So we will have to even make counter systems to like stop that, where the work will start happening eventually as we make policies around it, and especially like people who are here in the crowd who are like all experts for some of these domains of deep tech. I believe that's their role as well, to come forward, draft these policies, pass on to GSFT kind of bodies, where while there is an opportunity in future, we can work together to make policies and ensure like we are ready. India is ready actually for that bit of it. So anything that you believe like is a question mark, like I can imagine 50 years ago or maybe 100 years ago when everybody couldn't get a driving license and there was no clear definition of accidents, there was always a gray area around it. Similarly, we are in a gray area spot at this point of time around ethics. There has to be policy creation to be done. Once we create these policies, we help the government rather than putting a question mark. I think we will then lead this whole journey to the next bit of it. So right now, that's the time.
No, yeah. Can I intervene here? When I started biotechnology, people said it is not correct. If I should have stopped at that time, no COVID vaccine today by India. This is where I am saying how to use it for better purpose is important. Everybody is saying at that time, because of biotechnology, so many changes, artificial changes you can bring, it is not good for nature. Nobody stopped it, it has gone. That is what.
No, thank you, Ram Prasad. And Kiran is a good friend. Thank you for asking. So my view is that with guardrails, I'm a big fan of that ChatGPT can be a quantum leap in terms of democratizing technology. I'll just take two quick use cases, Mr. Ramprasad. One is, like Sir mentioned, very kind of him to say that, I'm a mentor and I can do that. Actually, in education or even in access to public policy, benefits and everything, there are already systems which are coming into place where ChatGPT can be used by the common man to understand what are the various benefits which the government is offering. They can be around subsidies, they can be around insurance, they can be around free education for their daughter, bunch of stuff. Similarly, in education, the point I mentioned about Khan Academy, I was watching a TEDx video which shows that on one side, like he said, you could use ChatGPT to cheat and actually, make your answers, right? But on the other side, with certain guardrails, ChatGPT can be your personalized mentor, your personalized teacher, where it will ask you questions. It will help you to think in the right direction. If I were to just dip towards healthcare, I'm fairly engaged with healthcare quite a bit. I'm on the board of a large hospital in Hyderabad. Today, the healthcare proportion of doctors to population is extremely low, especially rural healthcare, like Sir mentioned. If I look at the Bharat side access to healthcare, ChatGPT can be a good co-pilot for telehealth practices. A lot of standardized responses can be filtered. I'll give you an example. There is a healthcare startup which detects tuberculosis by the sound of the cough, as versus taking a sample of your sputum and then culturing it and taking 10 days. With a 95% plus accuracy, this startup is able to detect early tuberculosis just by the sound of the cough. Deep tech AI combination into healthcare.